Hello everyone. It's James again. And for those of you that are new to this channel, thank you for giving this little cartoon man with a funny voice a bit of your time. And for those of you that are long-time subscribers, I thank you from the bottom of my little cartoon heart. Today I wanted to talk about something very important. I was originally going to talk about another sad news story that actually shows that narcissism and evil are linked, and that demons are real. But I wanted to hold off on that news story, and I wanted to talk about or give you a message of hope. You see, many of us here in this space of narcissistic abuse have gone through a lifetime. And I do mean a lifetime of non-stop narcissistic abuse in one form or another. Especially if we grew up in a home with a narcissist parent or parents. Because you see, the narcissist parent does a masterful job. I hate saying it that way, but they are truly masters at ruining their children's lives. And in them doing so, most of these individuals not only struggle with narcissistic abuse in regards to dealing with friends or so-called friends, or possible romantic partners, but here's the big one. And I will tell you why it's a big one in just a moment. But the big one is the job you work. You see, though there are rich narcissists and poor narcissists, the narcissist parent's goal is to oftentimes sabotage their child's life and their finances to where they are stuck in this loop of never really being able to get ahead in life. And that means they are oftentimes stuck in jobs where they aren't able to use their true skills and or talents. Jobs, no offense to say, they would never be in had they had proper guidance and love and care from their parents, no matter they be rich or poor. Also, their child can grow up to have choices. Because you see, the main goal of a healthy family is to be a buffer and a protection from the evil of the outside world. Let's say you are living with your family, and you are being abused emotionally at work by your boss. Your loving parents might be able to pull a few strings and help you find a job where you are treated better and where you can make more money. And if that wasn't possible, they might be able to at least tell you that you can take a lower paying, easier job and quit the job that is taking a toll on your mental and physical health, until you can go back to school and figure out something else. Well, growing up in a home filled with narcissistic abuse removes this barrier and removes this protection. And if your narcissist parent sabotaged your education when you were growing up like many of our parents did, you are likely stuck in dead-end jobs where you had no choice and your mental health was beaten down every single day of your life at work. Now, why is this so important to what we are talking about in regards to beating and defeating narcissistic abuse, at least on an individual level? Well, it's extremely difficult to fully heal when you are still being abused. Even though you've gone no contact or low contact with your family of origin, or you escaped a toxic ex, and you are finally free from narcissistic abuse, right? Wrong. You still have to clock into work the next day where you are not only underappreciated but you are treated like complete and utter crap. And you just have to sit there and take it? Or do you? You see, I've talked about many times before, and I'm sure I will talk about it many times again. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist, let's say you are married to one or you are seriously dating one. And if you are seriously dating one, you might have attachments to them. Meaning you might have a child together. You might have bought a home together. Or maybe you have no attachments whatsoever, but you are just an emotionally wreck over everything. Well, what I tell most people is you have to make a choice. Do you just sit there and let the waves of the emotional abuse and at times physical abuse bang against you day in and day out until there is nothing left of you? Or do you start today, and start to come up with an escape plan? And when I say come up with a plan, I mean to not just talk about it or think about it, but really come up with a plan that you can act upon that will get you away from this person for once and for all. This plan may take 30 days. It may take 6 months. But it will never ever come about if you don't start with day 1 and day 2 and day 3 and so on. Well, you are going to have to do the same thing with your job and or career or possibly lack thereof. And though having more money might make things easier, and it would, but there are some that chose to have a bit of a simpler life, and found an easy job that paid enough to get them by. A job where they weren't micromanaged. A job where they weren't hassled. But to get such a job, it's going to take a lot, and I do mean a lot of work. At least at first. Because then once you have the job, you can then heal. Because the narcissist parent or parents knew what they were doing. Most people that grow up like that retreat back to the narcissist parent and do whatever odd thing they are doing to get by financially in life. Because being out there and being emotionally abused by strangers gets exhausting. And the narcissists that are close to you know. Most people will choose to be emotionally abused to someone they know and have a connection to, as opposed to someone they don't know. As an example, if the narcissist parent lives on the system, so to speak, and their broken child attempts to put their foot into the world or life, and they get beaten down, oftentimes they will retreat back to the narcissist parent and play the game the narcissist parent is playing. So they too can live off of the system. This is why you see some homes like this have this generational curse that keeps on going. But if you finally, and I do mean finally, want to defeat narcissistic abuse, at least on a personal level, you have to make sure it's gone from all areas of your life. Meaning you aren't dealing with narcissist family members anymore. Meaning you've gotten away from a narcissist romantic parent or spouse. And finally you got away from the job that you worked where they tried to beat your soul out of you through emotional abuse. And the truth is, that's where most people get stuck. And I believe the danger in staying stuck there is if you are letting yourself get emotionally beat apart by your boss or bosses at work. It's a slippery slope before you might find yourself back into another emotionally abusive friendship or relationship. You see, most people that grew up like many of us never really had much of any life successes we could celebrate and be happy about. This is why I believe it's important to start small, but to build those successes now. Even if it means taking a step back and finding a job that is easygoing, and that allows you to heal and relax. And it might even allow you to go back to school for something you are really passionate about. Something that you're really good at. And even if you take a cut in pay to get an easier job, still do what you can to save your money. We do not have an army of family around us wanting to help us out. We've all known people growing up where they had a mom or dad they could go stay with for a while if they hit a life speed bump. That isn't us. That isn't us. So you want to always think, how can I create a buffer? How can I have a way out if I'm being treated badly? And it's my belief, just how narcissists can sniff out if we have a good home or family life or not, and then abuse us accordingly. Well, I think bosses and managers at work that are narcissists are the same way. If they need you and they know you don't need them, even if they are narcissists, they might at least on the surface level of things treat you well, only because they need you. But if they sense you are desperate for a job, and this is your only means of support, they will corner you and poke at you like someone pulling the wings and or legs off a bug. They just get a kick out of watching you limp around and to not have anywhere to turn and anywhere to go. This is why I say, if you know this is your situation, your game planning is going to start right now. Right now. Even if it's reading up on new jobs, pulling out your resume, and getting it updated. Start looking for jobs that either challenge you in the way you want to be challenged and pay you more than you are making now, so you can save. Or take a step back and find a job that is super easy and super mellow. That doesn't require much of you. And sure, it's a cut in pay. But if you can make it financially off of such a job, and work on other aspects of your life, such as healing, mentally and physically. Then going to school. Or taking a course where you can get a certificate to do something you really want to. Simply put, give yourself some options. You see, growing up in a home with a narcissist parent or parents, you have no options. You are literally stuck. And then by accident you get stuck again as an adult. And even though your life was sabotaged as a child, there is no one coming to jump in and give us the job that we need that is going to make us feel valued and where we aren't going to be emotionally abused. No one is going to put us in this great situation where we can finally heal. I know. It's like pushing a rock up a hill. A big rock. But we must push it. And for this planning time and working on our lives time, we might and will likely have a rough go of it. Just like you might have a rough go of it trying to escape a narcissist husband or wife. But either you go through that rough patch and finally escape, or you stay with this narcissist and let them destroy your life. Well, I have news for you and even myself. The same rules apply to the narcissists that many of us have to work for. We can finally defeat narcissistic abuse in our lives. But it's going to be a metaphoric fight. And an uphill battle. But it's worth it in the end. If you can get a job that allows you to be you and you don't feel like you're being emotionally tortured every single day of your life, and you are away from the narcissist ex and family, you will finally be able to heal and do a lot of wonderful things with your life. But if you stay in such a job, they will keep on beating you down until nothing is left. Now I don't believe in just up and quitting your job, especially if it's your only means of support. But what I do recommend is to take it super seriously and as a quest to find something new. Something less stressful. And something that will allow you to explore on your own who you really are. No matter that be going back to school, or developing a business of your own. I pray every day not only for myself but for the millions upon millions of those that grew up like me. Those without any help. And without any love. You all are some of the smartest, most creative people that I've come across. And it breaks my little cartoon heart that many of you are in tough situations. But we must take these tough situations and turn them around. We must turn them around and fight back with having a better life. A life where we can heal. And once we do that, we will have finally defeated narcissistic abuse. At least in our own personal lives. Well, I think this is a great place to stop. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe so this channel can grow. And so those that need to find this information are able to do so. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.